Oh my God. And once you're lost, you're lost. It's hard to get it back. Hey, what is up YouTube? Andrew Rooney here, full-time drummer and drum teacher based right here in Auckland, New Zealand. We are back with a PayPal request for my friend Mike Cobb, and I'm going to read out his message here. Hey Andrew, I'm excited to finally be making my first reaction request. Long email here. I'm sure you won't read most of it out in the video, but I hope it'll give a few hints for things to notice. I'll read out a bit of this message. I'll read out a bit at the end. Stick around to the end where I'll go through some of the points that Mike wanted to highlight. Anyway. This is one I'd love you to really put the drum teacher hat on for. It's Gavin Harrison. Gavin.
Take it easy. Count to 10.
Gavin Harrison. I mean, come on. It's Gavin Harrison playing the drum part of Porcupine's Tree. It's Gavin Harrison playing the drum part of Porcupine Tree's Bonnie the Cat at a clinic. According to the comments, somebody in the audience asked Gavin whether he typically added drum parts to music that was already written or if the drums ever came first. This was Gavin's answer. It starts with some brief discussion and a demonstration of some grooves. Very cool and definitely worth including in your video. And then it moves into a playthrough of the song. As I say, I'll read out the rest of the message at the end of the video. It's a bit of a weird way to do it, but it's quite a lot of information. So with that said, let's get straight to the video.
I was sitting at home jamming away on the drums, and I came up with this kind of pattern.
Have you ever heard a better snare tone? More on that as we go on. Wow.
The open hi-hat being
Dynamite.
2 and 3, and I like the snare drum being on 3 and I was very influenced by a drummer in the 80s called Steve Jansen. He played in a band called Japan. And he would make very simple drum parts. He would just put snare drums in kind of places you'd never thought of. This is a Steve Jansen rhythm that really fascinated me.
Ooh. Almost a bit Stuart Copeland-esque.
I mean, you don't really...
How does he get that sound? I mean, when you're starting out, you think it's the drum. I've got to get that snare. I've got to get that head. How's he tuning it? What's the pitch? I mean, it is that as well, but it's how he is hitting it. It is so crisp. He's playing right hand backbeats on that beat, and the first one he was doing left hand backbeats. And he's just getting that pinpoint, perfect crack, body, tone. Yikes, this guy is a monster.
You put a snare on 1 and 2, you know, when you've grown up listening to funk and jazz.
True.
It just seems so crazy to me. You know, you normally put a snare on 2 and 4 or around 2 and 4, and Steve would do these amazing kind of like, I just couldn't work out what he'd been listening to. And so this rhythm that I started for Bonnie the Cat, I guess I was looking for a simple solution to make an unusual beat. My favorite thing is making a rhythmic design for a song that just fits the song perfectly. That's my favorite thing that I can do. So I expanded this beat I just showed you and played it over 2 bars. Now, it's got a funny turnaround. It sounds like it's in an odd time, but it's all in 4/4.
Genius.
So, whilst we're having a writing session, I said to the other guys in Porcupine Tree, listen, I've got this beat, and I've got an idea for a bass line that goes with the beat. It doesn't play with the drums, it plays in between the drums. It's a kind of jigsaw pattern. So the bass goes 1, onk, onk, boom, 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 boom. And none of what I'm doing is on that beat. So probably the easiest thing is if I play this song for you now, you can hear what the other guys in Porcupine Tree came up with for this beat. So in the case of this song, the beat came first.
Guys, real quick, just before we get into this play along, original video link, as always, in the description of each of my videos. Please do go along if you do not want a bald Kiwi interrupting your videos. But just while I'm thinking of it, this is exactly what me and my drum geek friends were geeking out about after the recent Arnica Nillis clinic here in Auckland, New Zealand, where it was just like, we were so impressed that she could just drop into anything, anything that in her world, she could just drop into it and play it and demo it. Demoing things on the fly demonstrates so much headroom. And I mean, just the demos that Gavin is just dropping into here, the time is there, the pocket's there, the sound is there. It's just, oh my God. It's those little things that make you realize, wow, this is heavy. This is a heavy player. I don't know, if you're like me, watching Gavin Harrison play, it's like a treat. It's like a holiday. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let's check it out. So much control. Clean. Cool riff. Oh. Oh my God. The old Zildjian Z's. Swiss triplet. Gavin, if you're watching, is that lick a Swiss triplet? I know what will be. ...2011. Guitar Center. So I think this is the first video I have actually done from Guitar Center. So I'm going to go ahead and subscribe, guys. As I said, original video link in the description of each of my videos. Go along, obviously support the original video. Yeah, oh my god. I popped the question on my Danny Carey Numa video, which is by far the biggest video in terms of views that I've done on the channel. And then I think I just off the cuff said in that video something like, who could play for Danny Carey? Who could fill in for Danny Carey, do it justice? Who could play for Tool? You know, mighty job to fill in the huge boots, literally the big shoes of Danny Carey. Gavin Harrison. He's my pick. Big call, but I put my hand up and say Gavin Harrison. He is my pick to sub in if Danny Carey needed replacing in a week. And a drummer's got to jump in there, learn all the material, learn the set, do it justice, and play, you know, absolutely killer. I'm going with Gavin Harrison. Mike Cobb, thank you so much for this selection. I'm going to go ahead and read out the rest of your comment. Even though I've kind of done this the wrong way around now, because I'm sort of reading out, because you put here a few things to check out. I'm going to talk about the things that you mentioned after I've watched the video, so stick with me. A few things to check out. First, the absolute insanity of what Gavin calls a funny turnaround in the second bar of the 2-bar figure. Yeah. Try as I might, I cannot count this beat. Of course, I'm just a lowly bass player, but I love intricate drumming. I'd be interested to know how you hear it and how you would break it down. Well, first of all, you're not a lowly bass player. Look, bass players are up here with drummers. Guitarists are where I tend to look down on guitarists a bit.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Just joking. Calm down, guitarists. You're so sensitive. Second, keep an eye on Gavin's left hand.
That's what she said.
When he's demonstrating the 2-bar groove before he starts the actual playthrough. In the second bar of that repeated figure, he's playing ghost notes on the snare with his left, but he manages to flick the stick over to the hi-hat to play the third stroke and a little triplet on the hi-hat while hardly moving his hand at all. It comes right back over to the snare for more ghost notes. So slick and so fast that the camera barely catches it. I might go back and check that out right now.
Now, it's got a funny turnaround. It sounds like it's in an odd time.
That little hi-hat.
It's all in 4/4.
Couldn't see it on that shot very well. There it is. Very well spotted, Mike Cobb. Very, very well spotted. It's one of those little feel things. I play those little extra hi-hats constantly in my own drumming. No, I'm not saying I'm Gavin Harrison. I'm not saying I play B-side Gavin. Just settle down. Just please control yourself. But yeah, I do that kind of thing. It's just a little feel thing. I guess it is like playing a ghost, but on the hi-hats, and keeps the groove percolating and the momentum going along. Very nice and very, very well spotted. Got a very good ear and eye there. Okay, check out the trick setup he has on the hi-hat that lets him lock the hi-hat in a loosely closed position 503, so he can play splashy quarter notes on it while using his left foot for double bass stuff in the bridge. It stays like that until the next time he steps on the hi-hat pedal, 6:15, and then it goes right back to being controlled by the pedal. Yeah, that's a pretty common setup for people who play double bass. I, however, do not play double bass, So yeah, again, very keen eye to catch that. Of course, the whole thing is just a drumming tour de force with lots of other great Gavin-isms, like doing fills that go right to left. I noticed that up to the higher pitch rack toms and so on. Those counterclockwise fills, so Gavin, such a proggy thing as well. Yeah, anything, he's like Vinnie Colaiuta for me. He can get away with absolute murder because he's just so good. As my friend Mark Charter said in a podcast interview with myself,
allow myself to introduce myself.
He said, you know, are we overplaying or are we under executing? And it's a deep concept to think about because you can play a lot of stuff. People think, oh, I need to play pocket. I can't play much because I got to play pocket and I got to stay in the pocket. Well, you can play a bit more if you're really good and you can make it musical and fit. But that's a whole world of study and a whole world of musicianship that most of us don't really get to. That sounds really horrible and defeatist, but I'm going to go with it. Anyway, it's an odd song, lyrically quite dark, but the drumming is absolutely mind-blowing and something I listen to on repeat. Hope you enjoy Mike Cobb in California. Mike, what a fantastic pick. I am going to go back now to your first point here. You said, try as I might, I cannot count this beat. I'd be interested to know how you hear it and how you would break it down.
5 minutes later.
All right, Mike. So I've gone back and had a listen to the groove. There's a couple of things going on that make it, I guess, hard to hear, hard to feel. If I get time in between recording this video and having to, or not having to, but putting the video out, I'll try and jump on the kit and actually play the groove as best I can. I'm not saying I'm going to play it Gavin level or like Gavin, but I'll do my best. There's a couple of things that I noticed when I listened back to his demo of the beat that make it very deceptive. And there's a whole bunch of what we call rhythmic illusions in the beat. So one of them being that the first downbeat bass drum that you hear, our brain wants to hear it as the one. And it's not on the one. It's on the ah of one. And then that shifts everything through displacement and it starts messing with your brain. And before you know it, you're back at the start, which is not the start for your brain because the bass drum's after that. And then it's all in a big soup and you're just completely lost. And once you're lost, you're lost. It's hard to get it back. And with this kind of beat, similar with a lot of ladder music, there's no strong downbeat on the one. So there is nothing to anchor us. In the Western world, we're so used to feeling secure and anchored with strong 1 and 3 kick, 2 and 4 snare. This beat doesn't have any of it. It doesn't really have any accented 2 and 4 snare at all, or 1 and 3 bass. So it's completely foreign to us. As I say, I'll try and jump on and do my best to play it, and hopefully, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to play it like Gavin, but hopefully it adds some context to what I'm saying. I'll maybe slow it down a bit. Oh boy, Mike Cobb, thank you so much for this amazing request. I've had a go at learning the groove. It is insanely difficult. It's insanely difficult and insanely deceptive. I'm going to try and explain a few reasons why I believe it's a difficult groove and a difficult groove to hear, and hear in 4/4 timing. So typically in 4/4 timing, our backbeats are on the 2 and the 4, just keeping it real simple. So in a really basic beat, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. The snare 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in this groove, it's a 2-bar pattern, by the way, and the backbeats, the strong snare hits at least, are not on the 2 and the 4. None of them are on the, well, one of them is on the 4 in the second bar, but this is where the backbeats, the strong snare hits are in this groove. So if here's our tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now your brain is searching for a pattern and searching for that backbeat. Our Western brains are just wired to look for it. and you sort of get it. It's just in the wrong place for where it actually is. Your brain starts to hear it in a different place. So especially between that and of 3 backbeat in the first bar and the and of 1 backbeat, I start to feel a bit of a pulse there, but it is actually very irregular. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2, 3. There's that. There's also the fact that he does something in this groove from a drum perspective, which is very tricky. Jeff Porcaro was the master of this, and it is a ghost note on the snare after a rim shot or after an accented snare hit. So basically a really loud snare followed by a really quiet one. Very difficult to do, gives it a bit of like an echo effect. And yeah, as you very smartly noticed, there is a little triplet. So he's doing right, left, and bringing his left up to create the triplet in that feel. Overall, it's a really difficult beat. Oh, and one other key thing that makes this beat a little bit unusual and a little bit hard to get in the air is there's no bass drum on the 1. In fact, there's no bass drum on the 1 in either bar. So the bass drums are on the A of 1, A of 2, E and of 4, and then the second bar, E of 1, and of 2, and the 3. So the whole thing, very, very deceptive and even more difficult to play. Trust me. All right, I'm going to leave the video there. It's always good to get back to the legend, is on the Mount Rushmore of world drummers. Gavin Harrison up there like a drumming god. If you have a reaction request that you definitely want to guarantee gets on this channel, the only way I can guarantee a request at this point is via the PayPal link. I do also have a Patreon, and through that you get access to the blocked videos. It's just $5 a month. Other ways to support the channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, and leaving a comment. It really helps me out. And remember, yes, you, as a subscriber of my channel, you get access to a full and free 30-day trial over at DRUMEO. Go over there and check out what Gavin Harrison's got to offer. He's got a bunch of stuff over at DRUMEO. Guys, until next time, take it easy, keep chopping wood. Ciao.